I have a secret child with your sister. Just divorce me quietly.
No way, I'm not divorcing you, I answered quickly. I glanced at Lily, and she was smirking. I sighed, thinking, what I feared has happened. Meanwhile, James, looking surprised, asked me again.
What? Why?
Of course not, because I fell silent there. When we returned to my parents' house for our wedding greeting, I met Lily and had a feeling this might happen. So I'm prepared. I'm not the old me anymore. Lily had always taken things away from me. But this time, it's my turn. I will never forgive you both for betraying me. I won't forgive my sister or my husband. You'll pay for ruining my life. My revenge won't be sweet, so get ready. Thinking that, I took a deep breath. My name is Emily Smith. I'm a 30-year-old housewife, married for 3 years. Before getting married, I worked at a local bank, and I married James, who worked at the same bank. James is kind and well trusted at his job. I also love his serious and dependable nature. His parents are also kind to me and have mentioned they can't wait to see their grandchild. But that wish might not come true, because lately things have been a bit strained. The reason is probably because I haven't gotten pregnant. I believe in letting nature take its course. But James desperately wants a child and blames me for not getting pregnant. Maybe I should try fertility treatments. I stared at the search history for gynecologists. Sure, if I undergo fertility treatment, there's a chance I might get pregnant, just like James wants. But what if I still can't get pregnant? The thought scares me, and that's why I can't go through with it. Some people might think that's a minor issue, but to me, it's a big problem. Because before meeting James, I had never dated anyone. At first glance, it might seem unrelated. I want to think so too, but I can't help worrying. If I break up with James, there won't be a next time. I think it's all because of my sister, Lily, who's 2 years older than me. Of course, blaming others isn't right, but anyone who knows Lily would understand. Lily is attractive and well known in our hometown, but her personality is the worst. Especially the way she acted like a queen made her unpopular with the other girls in her class. She couldn't stand it unless she was number one. Being pampered was a given. If you went against Lily, she'd push you to the edge. That's the kind of person Lily is. Naturally, she didn't change at home. Since we were young, I had learned this lesson many times. Among those bitter memories, one event stands out the most. It was my 10th birthday. That day, my mom unusually spoke to me.
Emily, today's your birthday, right? Is there something you want?
Really? Can I?
We don't have a choice. Your grandpa.
Mom continued with a weary expression. My grandfather on my dad's side had sent some money for my birthday. He wanted me to buy something I wanted. Moreover, he wanted a report on what I bought. So I could not buy something. She explained all this in detail.
So, what do you want?
Well.
There were so many things I wanted. But what I wanted most was new clothes. I was always wearing Lily's hand-me-downs. I didn't have a single piece of clothing bought just for me. I wanted clothes of my own. Just as I was about to say that, Lily, who was next to me, smirked. Then she said to Mom,
How about a dictionary?
A dictionary? Why?
Because Emily isn't good at studying and she's not cute either. Aren't you worried about her future?
Lily smirked. Mom thought for a moment and then smiled.
You're right. Emily is nothing like you, Lily.
Wait. I want a.
Emily, you're okay with that, right?
Mom pressed me for an answer. I was about to argue, but Lily cut me off.
Emily. You don't have any complaints, do you? I want clothes. Huh? A plain girl like you, dressing up? It's pointless.
Lily raised her voice. I flinched at the volume.
That's right. Do as Lily says.
Mom always sided with Lily. Moreover, she doted on Lily all the time. Probably because Lily resembled her. In the end, I was strictly convinced by Mom and Lily to get a dictionary. I remember calling my grandpa to thank him, but I wasn't happy at all. In this way, Lily always put me down. It was the same when it came to family outings.
Mom. Emily doesn't want to go out.
Really? Then, Emily, you stay home.
Needless to say, Lily said this on her own. But I couldn't speak up, so I stayed home. Even after that, Lily kept manipulating me. For example, with dating. When I had a crush on someone at school, Lily approached him before I could. And she started dating him. I think it was because I had his photo.
Hey, why are you with him?
When I asked, Lily shamelessly replied,
Because you look like you liked him.
You took him away? Why?
Don't you think he's too good for you? With your looks, dating someone is a luxury.
That really got to me. I know I'm not good looking, but that's none of Lily's business. If I stayed with Lily, my life would be a mess. Thinking that, I decided to attend a college far away. Meanwhile, my older sister Lily, who was 2 years ahead of me, had already gone to college. She was attending an all-girls university in New York.
The other day, I got scouted. What should I do?
Why not become a model?
That might be a good idea.
Mom and Lily laughed together. I was so tired of their conversations. So, without saying anything to Mom, I applied to a university in a small town. Soon, I received my acceptance letter. I never told Mom or Lily. It helped that neither of them paid much attention to me. I easily went to the small town university. Then, I got a job at a local bank. That's where I met my future husband, James. Eventually, James proposed to me. I was at my peak of happiness. But I had one concern: the so-called marriage greeting. It was fine for me to visit James's family. The problem was James coming to my family's house. Lily was there. What would happen if James met Lily? I was terrified. But we had to do the marriage greeting. So, I made up my mind and took James to my family's house. Luckily, Lily was out. Apparently, she was out with her boyfriend. I saw this as a great opportunity and quickly finished the greeting and left.
Really? Marriage? You?
Yeah.
Is that so?
Surprisingly, Mom was quite calm. Maybe I was worrying for nothing. Just as I thought that, Mom said to me,
I need to talk to you. Come here.
Dad was keeping James company. I glanced at them as I stood up. Following Mom, I entered her room. As soon as I was inside, she erupted in fury.
What are you thinking?
What do you mean?
You're the younger sister. Getting married before your older sister. What are you thinking?
I was taken aback. I didn't think it mattered who got married first, but it seemed very important to Mom. Doesn't Lily have a boyfriend? She's out with him today, isn't she?
So what? We're talking about you right now.
Mom's brow furrowed deeply. I quickly looked away.
He's a banker, isn't he? How cheeky of you.
What do you mean?
Lily's boyfriend works at a factory. That's it. You should give him to Lily.
Oh, so that's what this is about. I'm marrying someone who makes more money than Lily's boyfriend. She didn't seem to like it. I wish we hadn't come for this greeting. I sighed as I looked at Mom. She pouted, clearly displeased.
What? Do you have a complaint?
Yes, I'm not giving him to Lily.
In such a short time, you've gotten quite cheeky.
Mom ground her teeth. I scoffed. I've grown up. I'm capable of not relying on you, you know.
Then at least wait until Lily gets married.
Just as Mom was about to finish, Lily's voice suddenly echoed from the front door.
I'm home. Oh, do we have guests?
This is bad. I rushed out of Mom's room. I headed toward the living room where James was. But I was a step too late. Lily had already entered the living room.
Who might you be?
Hello. You're Emily's sister, right? I'm James.
Once again, Lily was interfering. Bitter memories flashed through my mind. But contrary to my worries, Lily said something unexpected.
Oh, you're my sisters. Nice to meet you. I'm Lily.
I was speechless at Lily's reaction. Noticing this, Lily said,
He seems like a good man. Are you getting married?
"Oh yeah."
Congrats.
Lily said that and patted me on the shoulder. Then she walked past me. "Oh, Lily."
What?
Lily turned around. I had a lot to say, but I couldn't find the words. Seeing me struggle, Lily said,
We're sisters. Of course, I'm happy about your wedding.
With that, Lily left the living room. I was left confused. In any case, our wedding greeting ended without incident. After that, James and I officially became husband and wife. But I still had a lingering doubt. There's no way Lily's personality could change that much. She must be plotting something. However, we lived far apart. Even if she planned something, it wouldn't be easy. But I should still do what I can. I took every precaution I could. By doing so, I kept my peace of mind. Eventually, our newlywed life began. By then, I had completely forgotten about Lily. We saw each other at the wedding, but since then, I hadn't heard from her. My mom also hadn't contacted me, and I was relieved that everything seemed fine. And just like that, 3 years flew by. By this time, Lily was a thing of the past. Instead, a new issue had arisen. I wasn't getting pregnant. There were no issues with our married life, and we got along well. Yet, I still wasn't getting pregnant. Normally, you might consult your mom, but my mom and I didn't get along. So, I talked to my mother-in-law, Sarah. Sarah said to me,
Don't worry about it. These things are all about timing.
Sarah treats me like her own daughter. I trust her and even think of her as my real mom. But James really wants a child.
It's okay. Just let nature take its course.
Sarah encouraged me like that. but James was strict with me.
Maybe it's your fault we're not having a baby?
That's not true. We both got tested. When I argued back, James pouted like a child.
Test results can say anything. Anyway, I want a kid.
James kept insisting on that. This started to create a strain between us. At this rate, not only would I not get pregnant, but our marriage might even be in danger. So I consulted my college friend Amy, who had experience with childbirth. So that's the situation. What should I do?
First of all, why not try changing your environment a bit?
What do you mean?
Well, maybe a trip for just the two of you? It could be a nice change of pace and good for both of you.
If we were undergoing fertility treatments, traveling might be tricky. But we were just trying to conceive naturally. Less stress can make it easier to get pregnant. I remember seeing some data on that somewhere. All right, I've decided. I'll suggest a trip. I decided to boldly invite James on a trip. If we're going, the beach we've always wanted to visit sounds perfect. So I invited James on a trip. I thought he might refuse, but he agreed right away.
I'll have to work out the details with my job, but we can make it work.
Great. I'm looking forward to it.
I'll take care of the travel arrangements.
And just like that, we planned our trip. James booked a hotel in the neighboring state that I had wanted to visit. Then, 6 months after I suggested a trip, we finally went on our vacation. It was our first trip together since our honeymoon. From the moment we left the house, I couldn't stop feeling excited. By the time we reached the hotel, I wondered if I might get exhausted from all the excitement. I kept talking to James the whole way. James also seemed to enjoy listening to me. I felt that reconciling wouldn't be hard. My heart was pounding with excitement. Yes, I was excited. Alone. I realized this when we arrived at the hotel. In front of the hotel, Lily was inexplicably waiting for us. When she saw us, she waved. Why is Lily here? I asked James, and his face suddenly became tense. My mind was filled with anxiety. We entered the room we had booked for the three of us. As soon as we got in, James got down on his knees.
I'm sorry, Emily. Please listen to me.
Listen to you. About what? Even as he spoke, all I could think of were unpleasant things. Eventually, James said one of those things aloud.
I have a secret child with Lily. Just divorce me quietly.
No way, I'm not divorcing you. I answered quickly. I glanced at Lily and she was smirking. I sighed, thinking, what I feared has happened. Meanwhile, James, looking surprised, asked me again.
What? Why?
Of course not, because. I fell silent there. When we returned to my parents' house for our wedding greeting, I met Lily and had a feeling this might happen. So, I'm prepared. I'm not the old me anymore. Lily had always taken things away from me. But this time, it's my turn. I will never forgive you both for betraying me. I won't forgive my sister or my husband. You'll pay for ruining my life. My revenge won't be sweet, so get ready. Thinking that, I took a deep breath. When I looked up, James was staring at me. So, my sister is pregnant? Do you have anything else to say?
Yes. Why won't you divorce me?
James raised his voice. I looked away and answered. If I agreed to a divorce now, I'd be at a loss.
At a loss? What are you talking about? I'll pay you alimony. Don't you trust me?
How could I trust a man who just confessed to cheating? Does he not realize that? Setting that aside, the real problem isn't James. It's Lily. Lily is smooth talking and has mom on her side. That means she'll try to manipulate me later. Lily is pregnant, isn't she? As her sister, you should consider her happiness. Mom's definitely going to say something like that. But I'm not naive anymore. Even if she says that, I'm confident I can argue back. However, if she uses dirty tricks, I might lose. For example, what if Lily tells our relatives that James was originally her partner? It would make it look like I stole him. Of course, that's not true. But Lily is persuasive and attractive, and there are quite a few male relatives who would believe her. In other words, it's clearly Lily's fault. I need someone to testify to that. Normally, that would be the role of my parents. But my parents are useless. My dad is still okay, but my mom sides with Lily. So, the only people I can rely on are my in-laws. If James admits in front of Tad and Sarah that it's his responsibility, I'll consider the divorce.
Really?
Yes, I don't lie. I'm not like my sister. I glanced at Lily. She snorted in disapproval.
Not like Lily. Lily doesn't lie.
Oh, James, you've been fooled too. I let out an exaggerated sigh. Then James suddenly became angry. He looked straight at me and raised his voice.
Do you hate your sister? She's so kind.
A truly kind sister wouldn't steal her younger sister's husband. Those were the words that came to mind. But I swallowed them and decided to reveal Lily's true nature first. Oh, right. James, you don't know my sister's true colors.
Lily's true colors?
James tilted his head. At that moment, Lily interrupted.
Emily, are you planning to lie again? How many times have I told you? Lying is wrong.
It seemed she wanted to paint me as the liar. The old me would have gone silent here, but the new me wouldn't be intimidated. I snorted and continued calmly. Sis, you're just jealous of me, aren't you? You've always tried to bring me down and steal everything I have.
What? Stop lying.
It's not a lie. You took the person I liked, and now you're trying to take my husband too. Lily fell silent at my accusation. Now's my chance, I thought, and pressed on. You have such a terrible character. You enjoyed bringing me down, didn't you?
That's
And you're only after James's money, aren't you? You couldn't stand your ex-boyfriend working at a factory because he was poor. As soon as I said that, Lily's face changed. I smirked. I had heard this from a classmate back in our hometown right after I got married. When I went to my parents' house for the wedding greeting, Lily had a boyfriend who worked at a factory. They were about to get married, but when news of my marriage came out, they broke up. Officially, it was a mutual breakup. But in reality, Lily had said she couldn't be with a poor man. I kept talking to James about Lily, her terrible character, and her obsession with money. After I had said everything, I sighed. Surely James understood now. But that wasn't the case. As soon as I stopped talking, James raised his voice.
You're awful.
What?
No matter how heartbroken you are, how can you say such things about your sister?
James looked at me with cold eyes. It's hopeless. He's completely fooled by Lily.
That's it. We're definitely getting a divorce.
But I wanted him to say that in front of his parents. That's what I wanted to say, but James completely misunderstood.
Shut up. No matter how much you refuse, I'll take this to mediation or court if I have to.
I had no intention of refusing the divorce. I didn't want a man who would cheat with my sister. Yet, James didn't understand my true intentions. It was my final warning. Fine, let James hit rock bottom. I turned my back on James and Lily. Then I grabbed my bags. I'm leaving. You two can do whatever you want.
Yeah, do whatever you want. Right, Lily?
James held Lily's hand. Lily squeezed his hand and nodded.
Yes. Let's raise our baby with love.
If it's really their baby. I muttered to myself as I walked out. After leaving the hotel room, I went home alone. Then I packed my things quickly and left the house. I headed straight to my in-laws' place. I explained the situation to Tad and Sarah, who were both shocked. So it looks like we're getting a divorce.
That idiot. What was he thinking?
Tad erupted in anger in front of me. As Tad calmed him down, Sarah asked me,
A divorce is inevitable, but will you be able to get alimony and everything? Are you okay?
Yes, I have enough evidence. In fact, I had prepared something specifically for this trip. It was a wearable camera that fit in my chest pocket. I had planned to record parts of the trip with it. Of course, it was meant to surprise James. But all I ended up capturing was James's apology and his explosive confession. At least it was good evidence of his infidelity. If I had known, I might have agreed to the divorce right then and there. At that moment, I thought refusing the divorce might disadvantage me, so I didn't agree. But if I had known I had evidence recorded, I might have agreed. I made so many mistakes. But there's no use in regretting now. For now, I'll wait for James and Lily to return. While exchanging information with someone, I waited for James and Lily to come back. A few days later, Sarah called me.
James and Lily finally came back.
Upon receiving that call, I quickly contacted Amy. Then, together, we visited my in-laws' house. Sorry to keep you waiting. I greeted my in-laws. For some reason, James pouted.
You're late. What were you doing? Cheating?
That's you, I thought to myself. But I didn't say anything and just sat across from James. Soon, under Tad's direction, we started discussing our divorce. James was the first to speak. Of course, he made these claims.
I just wanted a child. It's Emily's fault for not getting pregnant.
While I seethed, James insensitively continued to say whatever he wanted. If I had gotten pregnant, he wouldn't have cheated. He was only seduced by Lily. Lily is kind and comforting. He insisted he had no choice but to leave me. Listening to the selfish excuses of a cheater was infuriating. But I had to listen. After paying attention, I waited for James to finish.
So, that's why we should get divorced.
James slammed the signed divorce papers on the table. Tad's face darkened a bit.
Is that all you have to say?
Yeah, I'm definitely getting a divorce. If Emily refuses, I'll take it to court.
I agreed with the divorce. But the issue was the terms. I had many things to say, but this was the most important. I'll agree to the divorce, but if we do, are you planning to marry Lily?
That's none of your business. But yes, I do plan to remarry. Right, Lily?
James smiled at Lily. Lily returned the smile demurely. This was becoming ridiculous. It seemed best to wrap this up quickly. I glanced at Amy next to me. Amy nodded slightly.
Excuse me, may I say something?
Who are you?
I'm Emily's friend, Amy. Can you take a look at this?
Amy placed her phone on the table. Everyone leaned in to see.
What is this?
James was at a loss for words as soon as he saw the phone. Slowly, he looked at Lily next to him. Lily, on the other hand, started to break out in a cold sweat. Her face turned pale, and she began to tremble.
This is a photo I took at the hospital, and you can see Lily here.
Amy pointed to the screen. Then she continued with a smile.
This is in front of the gynecologist's office, but the man next to Lily, who is he?
The photo showed Lily chatting with a young man in front of the gynecologist's office. Let's go back a bit. It was a few days before the trip. I got a call from Amy. I answered cheerfully, but Amy sounded unusually somber. What's wrong, Amy? Did something happen?
I'm pregnant with my second child.
What? Congratulations. I thought it was good news, but it seemed I was wrong. Amy continued in a subdued voice. She saw Lily at the hospital during her checkup. Lily was with a man, and from their conversation, it seemed Lily was also pregnant. It appeared the man was the father. That's what Amy told me. So the father of Lily's baby is this man. As I said this, I pointed to my phone on the table. At that moment, Lily started to protest.
What is this? And why does your friend know me anyway?
That's because.
Oh, I get it. You're trying to set me up.
Lily slammed the table. Amy and I flinched at the sound.
If you and this weird woman are going to make up lies, I'll sue you both for defamation.
Lily shouted. I replied with one eye closed. It's not a lie. I'm not trying to set you up.
What? Then how does that stranger know me?
At that moment, Amy quietly said,
Classmate.
What?
We were classmates.
Who? With whom?
Lily demanded, glaring at Amy. Amy lifted her head defiantly.
Lily and I were classmates.
What? I don't know you.
Lily shot back. Amy then showed another photo.
This is our high school's photo. You can see Lily and me here.
In the photo, Amy and Lily were indeed there. However, they were looking in different directions. Looking at the photo, Amy began to recount her past. When Amy entered high school, she liked a boy. They got along well and often talked. They even walked to and from school together sometimes. But there was someone who didn't like seeing them together. That was Lily. When Lily happened to see them, she got irritated. Then she started to disrupt them. She even hurled insults at Amy, saying things like,
Someone like you shouldn't speak up. Plain girls should stay quiet in the corner of the classroom.
Lily would say such things to Amy almost every day. Eventually, Amy became too scared to go to high school and dropped out. After that, she moved to this area, her mother's hometown. After a while, Amy got back on her feet. She re-enrolled in high school and eventually went to college. That's where she met me. Seeing me brought back memories for Amy. But she learned that I was also mistreated by Lily. Knowing this, Amy decided to be friends with me. Since then, we've supported each other, and here we are.
So yes, I know a lot about you.
Oh, well.
Lily hesitated. She looked at James for help, but James was shocked. He seemed surprised by Lily's earlier outburst. It's because she lost control and forgot herself. When Lily threatened to sue us, she was still somewhat calm. But after that, she couldn't hide her true nature.
James, that was.
Lily, is that really your?
No, it's not. Emily and her friend are just.
She started making excuses, but it was too late. James decided he wouldn't remarry her after all. He even began begging me to take him back, as if that would ever happen.
Emily, it was just a moment of weakness. Please, let's not get divorced.
No way. I'm not changing my mind. I said it in the same tone as when I refused the divorce. Even so, James couldn't give up.
Please, I'm begging you.
He even started bowing deeply. But I ignored him. I picked up the divorce papers from the table. Then I said to James, "I'll go ahead and submit the divorce papers."
Wait a minute.
"I won't wait. Goodbye." With that, I turned my back on the pleading James. After leaving with Amy, we headed to the court. I quickly filled out the divorce papers and submitted them. All done.
I'm glad.
Thank you. It's all thanks to you, Amy. Keep getting on with each other. About a year has passed since that conversation with Amy. Having successfully divorced, I now work at a new company. I received alimony from James and also managed to get alimony from Lily. My mom opposed it, of course. But my usually quiet dad sided with me. He even told my mom that if she complained, he'd divorce her. Mom couldn't say anything after that. When my mom is alone, she can't do anything. She knows that very well. Since then, my mom and Lily have kept their distance from me. Another day done. I muttered as I returned to my room. Just then, my phone rang. Hello. What? The police? It was a local police officer. Panicking, I asked what had happened. This is what the officer said. It was a few hours before that call. The bank received a report that someone was causing a disturbance inside. Upon receiving the report, the police suspected it might be a bank robbery. Several officers rushed to the bank immediately. When they arrived, they found that the ones causing the disturbance were just an ordinary man and woman. They weren't robbers, they were just having a dispute with a bank employee. That employee was James. And the ones causing the scene were Lily and her boyfriend. Nevertheless, the officers stepped in to stop them. When asked for an explanation, they reportedly said,
This man isn't paying the alimony.
Lily's boyfriend, John, added,
This guy messed with my girl. There's nothing wrong with demanding alimony.
John's reasoning might have been valid, but causing a disturbance at the bank is a different matter. In the end, Lily and John were given a stern warning and then released. Apparently, while the divorce between James and me was resolved, the affair with Lily wasn't over. I later heard that John demanded alimony from James for the affair, but James refused to pay. After Lily found out she was pregnant, John had gotten engaged to her. Whether John was serious about marrying her, I have no idea. I also don't know how far their relationship had progressed, but it was certain they were engaged. Using that engagement as a reason, John demanded alimony from James. It's possible that Lily and John were working together to trap James. Regardless, John officially demanded alimony from James, and James refused. This led to their heated argument and the scene at the bank. This was already a big enough problem, But a bigger issue arose shortly after. What? They showed up at the house? According to the police, after the altercation at the bank, Lily and John went to James's apartment. They caused a scene there too, shouting loudly. Naturally, this led to another police call. When the officers arrived, they decided that they couldn't let it go. So they arrested the two for trespassing. Why was I being contacted? So, I'm supposed to be their guarantor? When I asked, the police officer confirmed it. Here's the situation. Because of my divorce, Lily was abandoned by our dad. And our mom couldn't help her either, as she was reprimanded by my dad. So the only person nearby who could be Lily's guarantor was me. In cases of minor crimes, it's not uncommon for the suspects to be released the same day. However, for that to happen, a guarantor is often required. I'm not well versed in the law, but it seems that Lily's case falls under the same category. So there's only one answer. I responded cheerfully. Oh, I decline. Let them reflect on their actions in jail. With that, I gently hung up the phone. Later, Lily and John were summarily indicted and fined. However, they didn't have the money to pay. In the end, they had to beg my dad for a loan. Now, they're both working part-time jobs to repay that money. Meanwhile, James was severely reprimanded by the bank's upper management for bringing his personal troubles into the workplace. Although they were only given a warning, it's needless to say that the stares from others became cold. James couldn't bear the cold stares from those around him and eventually quit his job at the bank. However, finding a new job wasn't easy. Returning to his parents' home was also not an option. After all, the original cause of the trouble was his betrayal of me. Tad is furious about it. With no other options, James had to borrow money from shady sources. It's clear what happens next. James quickly became unable to repay his debt. He was taken by the debt collectors to a remote construction site in the mountains. He's likely still there today, working hard and sweating it out. As for me, I'm thriving in my new job. The salary might be lower than when I was a bank employee, but the work environment is pleasant and I feel fulfilled every day. One of the highlights is seeing Amy's second child. That's part of why I feel so content. Amy, can I visit you tomorrow?
Sure, but aren't you looking for a boyfriend?
Not right now. I'm not lying, but if I find the right person, I'd consider marriage. I won't let anyone ruin my life. Above all, I will seize my happiness by myself.